All right, our speaker for this afternoon's meeting is the Training and Exercise Officer with the Sedgwick County Emergency Management. He's spoken with us before, and he's going to give us some insight today about severe weather safety. Please welcome Cody Charvat.
I'm going to hope that the technology is working here, and very first slide, it's already active. Okay, good, let's go. While that roll, okay, Todd's going to go ahead and get the back of the slides, just the front ones. Well, yeah, that'll work. I do have some rather darker videos. A lot of storms don't happen when it's nice and bright and sunny outside, so the videos of them are correspondingly kind of dark. We're not going to let this entire opening video roll, but I did want it to go through a little bit of some of these numbers that you've seen scrolling past here, because I'm going to reference them. Talking about the historic tornado season that we had across the United States in 2011. Some just horrific numbers in terms of numbers of tornadoes, numbers of injuries, and numbers of fatalities. Deadliest year since 1936, as you see on there. Third deadliest year on record. Let's see what else we've got to say about here. May 24th, of course, we just passed the 1-year anniversary of the Joplin tornado, which was, now I'm blanking out on that, what day that was, but the Joplin tornado will come up. May 24th, also a deadly day. April 27th was the date of the super outbreak across the Deep South. This is going to go on and on and on, and it's really just meant to be an introductory slide that plays kind of in the background as I did my my weather presentations throughout the county. As people were filing in, we kind of let that run. So let's get right on into the meat of it here. And this might get a little bit loud here at points. If it rolls.
We need to go faster. It's coming right at us. No, keep straight, keep straight. Jesus. Go, Chandler. Jesus. Oh my God. It's a huge debris. Oh. Oh my God, my dog. You okay? Hey, are people okay? I don't know. Oh God. Oh my God, yo! 82646. Let me help. And I hear people screaming. Right, let's see if we can get down that right one.
Oh my God! Holy crap!
It's tearing up the entire city. On the south side of Joplin right now, this is Jeff Petrovsky, and it's a massive tornado, massive destruction. It's like at least it's a mile-wide tornado. It's leveling the south side of Joplin right now. Stay calm.
It's passing.
Hey, where do you want me to put everybody? Everybody get down. Low on the ground.
Some stuff right to the back.
Yeah, I know. Everybody,
kind of dramatic way to begin things. But last year was a pretty dramatic year when it comes to tornadoes. And we saw some of the numbers both on the first slide and that one that was just scrolling through there. 1,725 tornadoes in 2011. That's the second most ever recorded. That included EF4s and EF5s and unprecedented numbers. Those are the really big storms. Of course, the more sobering numbers, the homes and lives that were wrecked. In Joplin alone, as you saw there, 15,000 vehicles, 7,000 homes, 161 fatalities, and 160 in Joplin, 551 fatalities nationwide. That was the third most all-time and the most in any one year since 1936. And that left a lot of people asking, how could this happen in this day and age? I mean, aren't we supposed to have earlier warnings, better technology, faster communications? Well, we do. We have all that. And yet, as I mentioned, we still saw 160 people in Joplin alone that lost their lives. So how could this happen? Well, a lot of investigation went into trying to answer that question, a lot of interviews with the survivors of these storms. And the meteorologists that were conducting these interviews, as they wrote their report, they were able to narrow it down to two basic categories: fear and risk. Risk and complacency. Risk and complacency. As Todd mentioned, my name is Cody Charvat. I'm with Sedgwick County Emergency Management. Part of my duties is, as I've done here in the past and throughout every year, I go around and I try and teach people what they need to know about weather safety and what you need to know to battle those two killer factors of risk and complacency. What I've done this year is I've taken that big, long 2-hour talk and I've really condensed it down to try and focus on the stuff because, you know, as appraisers, you guys are going to be working out a lot, outside a lot with your jobs. And so I wanted to be able to give you some information you could use to maybe help keep you safe even as we move deeper into our severe storm season here. So, wow, we're going to have fun with the technology, it looks like, today. It's just not going to cooperate. Let's try this one more time. There we go. Now, when we talk about risk, it's a multifaceted word in this conversation. You know, there's the risk of placing ourselves at risk by our actions. For example, waiting till the sirens go off, and we're waiting too long. By not paying attention to what's going on around us and driving ourselves into a situation where we shouldn't have ever been because we weren't paying attention. Our risk can be a result of our attitude, thinking, oh, it's never going to happen here. Or maybe we're thinking, okay, Wichita's already been hit for 2012. We don't have to worry about it. That's the kind of stuff that lulls us into a false sense of security, a false sense of complacency, and ends up with 551 fatalities by the time that the year wraps up. The other facet of risk is risk signals. Signals of warning, signals of danger, things that pop up to us, and are we paying attention to them? Paying attention to somebody that's trying to warn us as to what's going on. Whether that's a warning directly from the National Weather Service, whether it's the outdoor sirens going off, hearing something on television, radio, internet, social media, whatever it is. Our telephones now can be a great source of receiving weather information. And our eyes. You know, if something doesn't look right, chances are it probably are. It isn't. So how many of these risk signals is it going to take before we start paying attention to what's going on out there and moving ourselves to safety? I'm going to do for you guys the same thing I did across the county this year with all my storm spotters and the general public who came to this class. I want to try and make you ACEs. ACEs stands for Awareness, Communication, Escape Routes, and Safety Zones. And we're going to talk about each of these individually. But the awareness is just what it says. You know, being aware of the situation, having an understanding of what's going on weather-wise. Communication, reporting what you see and ensuring others know where you are. Escape routes, a clear path allowing you to reach a safety zone, and the safety zone is what you think it would be, someplace safe to ride out this storm. Now, communication has two parts to it as well. Part one is the before part, being aware of the weather forecast and the changing conditions. That's a big part of staying safe. Knowing when we're at risk for severe weather. And on days that we are at a heightened risk, we're paying closer attention than we might be on a normal, bright, beautiful, sunny day. Whatever your weather source is, I don't care what it is. If it's off the internet, Weather Bug, Weather Channel, Weather Underground, weather.gov/Wichita, that's the National Weather Service homepage. Whether it's one of those, whether it's the radio, television, whatever it is, I don't care, that's fine. Find one that you like, Find one that you trust, and then check it frequently so you don't get caught off guard. Because there really are no more excuses for saying, oh, it struck without warning. These things don't pop up just out of nowhere. They know ahead of time when the conditions are setting up, especially when we're looking at big outbreaks. We saw it on April 14th of this year. We had about a week's worth of warning that we were going to get a tornado that day. And if it wasn't us, we knew somebody was going to be hit in south central Kansas. And they were right spot on. These things don't just pop up out of nowhere anymore. Now there might be a thunderstorm that spins up and drops some tornadoes rather unexpectedly. But even then, they knew that there was a risk for severe weather that day, even if they weren't necessarily expecting it to go all the way tornadic, like what we saw last Saturday.